I've had back issues. And I've had thinning bones, and that is what I'm going to call it, thinning bones. I am 71, be 72 in November. So I did have issues. I had muscle issues. I had bone issues, you name it, teeth issues. And I'm going to throw it in there. I mentioned it to you today, CPTSD. For those people that don't know what that is, it's just complex post-traumatic. The patches help that. Recently, out here, literally checking the gas in I live in the country. For those of you that in the city, it might not mean anything, but we have propane tanks. And I was checking the gas in my propane tank. And what I have to do is I have a chair usually out there. At my age, I probably shouldn't have been doing it, but I have a chair out there, but the chair wasn't real stable. But I went ahead and, like I've always done, jumped up in the chair. And when I jumped up in the chair, I suddenly realized the chair wasn't stable. Now, I told Suzanne I rode horses for years, and if I know nothing else, I know don't ride a horse down. So I was trying to figure out how to get myself out of the situation. So I pulled my left leg back and literally landed on my left ankle, and it twisted it and my left leg, my calf, pretty hard. And all I could do is take a deep breath and retreat to my house. It swelled, and my daughter came over the next day and she said, Mom, I think I need to take you to the urgent care. Let's just go up there and let them x-ray it. Let's see if you're okay. So I did. I went up there, and on the intake, they were asking, like they do they ask you everything, and they asked me different conditions. And I said, well, I do have thinning out of my bones. I mentioned that. And so when I got to the back, the doctor came in, he looked at me, and then he took me back to x-ray. We took 6 x-rays, and then I went back to my room, and he came in there about 15 minutes later, and he goes, okay. He says, I saw a little bit arthritis. And he said, but I didn't see any of that thinning of the bones. Now, you could have knocked me over at that point. I've been on the patches 9 months, but you could have knocked me over. I just looked at him, and I know my mouth fell open, and my daughter was with me, and she looked at him because we both knew the truth. And I said, okay, are you sure? He said, I know how to look at an x-ray. No, ma'am, there wasn't any. And he said, and furthermore, you have a level 1 sprain, which is not a big deal. And you have a level 1 calf muscle pull. He said, you'll be over both of them in the next week or so, probably. And I'm like, really? And seriously, if you'd have been there for the fall, you would know. And it was swelled, my ankle was. He said, just wrap it. You'll be better in about another week or two. And I am. I'm actually improving greatly, quickly. And that's with the help of my X39 and my Eon patches. So yeah, that was my first tale I told you about today. I'm telling people, Susan, I'm already telling folks, because it shocked me. It really did shock me when he looked at me and said, I don't see what you're talking about. And I didn't know what to say. I just stared at him, So, but I've told everybody else. So that was a wonderful. And I hope that women my age realize that these things are phenomenal. They do things that they're just amazing. That's why I said I won't be without them.
Then following that, you had another story.
Yes, I do. Now this one is a little bit, I'm gonna make it go quickly and easily. I was I had an episode with my CPTSD. It was triggered during the pandemic, and I was here at the house and didn't drive for a while. So I didn't get my teeth tended to the way I should have. And with stress disorder, you have a very dry mouth, which is not good for the teeth. And I knew it. And I've always taken really good care of my teeth. So I finally got to my dentist of 17 years. Now that's important, because she knew my mouth. This woman knew my mouth, 17 years, and I would go at least twice a year. So when I showed up, we did x-rays. Oh, my gosh, a full panoramic. And then she came back there and started fussing at me. And I basically said, Amanda, I'm not going to take that. I've been going through a tough time. And she says, well, you're just going to lose your teeth. And I'm like, well, if that's what happens, it happens. Now by now I've been on the patches. Let's see. December, January, February, March, I've been on the patches about 6 months, 5, 6, maybe 7 months. And so she comes in there to talk to me about the x-rays, and she points to my mouth. She says, "This is really strange. With all the little cavities, you have new bone in your mouth."
Wow.
And I'm
she-
like I said, I'm 71. She said, "Do you see that new bone up there in your mouth?" And I could see it. I said, "Yeah, I do see it." And I see she would know that because she has all my x-rays.
correct.
But she didn't want to go into that. She just wanted to yell at me. And I'm like, okay, well, I've had enough of that. I'm ready to leave. So, I mean, this was rough on me anyway. I was very upset about it. So I didn't go back to her. I spoke to her assistant and said, "I love her, tell her I love her, but I'm not coming back." This is where I had to make a decision. So I went to a new dentist. This is going to be a quick story. She did a full exam. They looked at all my x-rays that I brought with me. And she said, "Bonnie, we're going to fix this." And I'm like, okay, because that's not what Amanda had said. And she had been looking at the x-rays, and then she came in and examined my teeth. And she said, "What have you done in the last 6 months?" I thought that was a strange question. I said, "I don't know." I said, "I don't understand what you're asking. But have you done anything different?" I said, "Well, I didn't change toothbrush type. I didn't change my toothpaste, didn't change my wash, my fluoride rinse. I can't think of anything different that I did. I mean, I've always flossed." And then she said, "No, you did something different because the cavities are not progressing."
And amazing. That is really a wow.
That right there did it. I was in shock. And I said, "So I'm not going to lose all my teeth?" She said, "I doubt it, seriously." She said, "We're just going to go in there and fill those little tiny cavities, and then we'll cap the ones we want to. We'll leave the other ones alone." And no, she said, so she saw something too, is what I'm trying to say. And, I can't imagine not wearing the patches. Now, at that time, I was wearing the X39, again, that's my star, and my Eon, and I also was wearing glutathione. I was wearing it here, right up here. And I just know that my teeth, it stopped. Whatever was going on stopped it. Because she said it has slowed everything. Whatever you're doing has slowed everything down.
Oh, well, what a testimony. And don't you just want to go back and show your other doctor or your other dentist that, wow.
Trust me, I will. When I started working on them, and I said, "Trust me, I will be going back to see Amanda, who treated me for 17 years, and say, ta-da, and tell her why I had bone in my mouth." Because she did keep looking at that and pointing, saying, "Bonnie, there's new bone in your mouth." And the Eon patch is a true brain, to me, it's a brain balancer. It's really helped with the PTSD. Now, that I didn't hear that from anybody. That I'm telling you from what I feel. I mean, that's what I feel. So, and I love it. That's why I said I won't be without my patches.